You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Spring will be here soon, so if buying a new home is on your to-do list, right now is the time to call Quicken Loans. Learn about which mortgage options make sense for you and get a jump on your competition. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Hi, welcome to the Subway ad for the new Sesame Ginger Glazed Chicken Signature Wrap. How would you like it?
I'll take a...
Sports announcer at home?
Yeah, how'd you...
We just know.
My wife picks up the new Signature Wrap. It's got double the rotisserie-style chicken mixed with a sesame ginger glaze. She appears annoyed at me, but she shrugs it off. Those sweet and savory flavors are calling her name. She lifts the wrap and she takes the bite! Incredible! And now she's closing the door on my... Subway, make it what you want.
Limited time only at participating restaurants. Double meat basement, average 6-inch sub.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Thoughts of suicide may feel impossible to overcome, but with help and support, you can find hope and meaning. Call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK to speak to a counselor, or visit suicidepreventionlifeline.org. It's free, it's confidential, it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And even if it feels like it, you're not alone.
And good evening. This is Cyber Wars, and I have my partner in crime, Orty Packard, with me tonight. Say hello, Orty Packard.
Hello, Orty Packard.
The opulent Amish. We're having all kind of technical stuff going on.
Yeah, it's because we're being hacked.
It totally is. And I'm happy to report that if you've seen some of my cryptic tweets, we're just going to talk about this. Okay, so you guys know we're building a new website. Pretty much everybody has seen it. Chat Lives Matter has seen it. We're all testing it. It looks really great. But what you can't see on the back end is about every 3 to 5 minutes, somebody tries to hack it. The most beautiful thing is that we have this wonderful plugin, because we were talking about security, and I was like, yeah, I know I can harden it. I can pen test it, blah, blah, blah. And then Orty finds this plugin. He said, hey, look at this, and it is beautiful. I absolutely love it. I'm not going to name it, even though I'd really love to plug it, but I'm afraid to because someone or someones are so dadgum determined that they're going to get into our site. But knock wood, because everything is vulnerable. They have not. They've not been having, and they've been true. We're on day 10 that they have. Yeah.
second we flipped the switch, and I know it probably started as once we registered the test website, that's when it all started because we were fine until we did that. So that they were just looking for sniffing new domains, and then when they found one, and then once we put that security plug in, I think they got pissed.
Yeah, and so yeah, and I mean, and I talk to my friends and my classmates, and sometimes even my professors about stuff like this, and we have a few theories about how they found us. But at this point, I believe that they were actually looking for us, and not just.
We're always talking about the Bears.
Well, and it's not just us, right? So it's a political thing. So I mean, you don't have to listen to the news, but for 5 minutes to find out, that everybody in the world is trying to influence our political campaigns. So I think it's more about us being political than what we talk about on this show, because there's any number of things that you can do. There's one thing that I do is I'm reporting the IPs that we're capturing and blocking to the IP abuse website. And I can see the other sites and the other organizations that are reporting them. And there's a bit of a pattern with these IPs and political sites. So that's number one, right? Some of them there's no pattern whatsoever, and some of them have never been reported before. Those are the ones that I think might be interested in what we talk about, especially the russo-Ukrainian things that we talk about, talking about bears and, blaming the Borussia hack on actual Ukrainians and not necessarily Russians, because those IPs are in Russia and Ukraine. And it's really interesting. So, I mean, if you do this, I won't say for a living because I'm still a student, but if you do this, you know how to actually track down an IP to a geolocation. Some of the geolocations are really interesting, and I'm not going to get into what those are. But some of them are really interesting. So this show, right? Because I've almost cast in a couple of times already. A disclaimer.
This program contains coarse language and adult themes. Parental discretion is advised. Naughty words and boobs. These I like. За здоровье!
And we want to thank Auntie Vodka for that, because she did that disclaimer for us. And we'll probably play it. Yeah, it is. I absolutely love it. So, anyway, so this is going on, right? I guess probably the first 5 days of it, I didn't get a whole lot of sleep because I was just so into trying to track down. And a few patterns started to emerge, and I started being able to sleep. And I slept like all day today, like catching up on sleep. But if you haven't noticed, we're missing someone at the moment. So our buddy Stoner, he's trying to get on the air. He's having some trouble. He spent the day in his real world job trying to fix some IT things. So he didn't have a whole lot of prep time. But it was his birthday last week. And we weren't on the air, so we didn't get a chance to celebrate his birthday, Orty.
We didn't, and, we could have done it tonight, too. Jeff, if you're listening, did you try turning it off and turning it back on again?
When in doubt, reboot.
When in doubt, reboot.
Right.
No, and yeah, it was his birthday last week, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And he asked for one thing. So we're going to do right now, even though he's not on the air, I know he's listening, and he may even be in chat. If you're not in chat, Jeff, get in chat. I don't see him, but we're going to do the one thing that he asked us to do right now. So enjoy this Joe Walsh for Jeff's birthday. Happy birthday, Jeff. And happy birthday to Jeff. And hopefully he'll get his technical issues fixed and be on with us any minute now. Ordy and I were still working on ours while we were playing Jeff's birthday song. And I realized that I came in without even playing our theme song. So it's, I know, it's like, gotta love live radio. But you know, we'll play that song at some point, probably before the night is over. But yeah, so you've heard about what we've been going through, the hacking of the site, the fact that the Russians don't like us. But you know what? I don't like them either. And since I've played our content warning, fuck the Russians. I'm ready to nuke every server in their fucking country right now. And
well, wait, we're all Russian. I'm constantly reassured by the folks of Twitter that I'm a Russian bot, so don't hate me because I'm.
Yeah, no. See, I know you, and I know you're not a Russian bot. And quite frankly, according to what I can see, bots are not the problem. These are real people with real IP addresses A lot of them aren't even VPNs. They're not using VPN or VPS. They're coming right at us from their real IP addresses.
Right,
I know.
That's so amateur.
What do they care? What I mean, is Putin's gonna arrest them for trying to hack our radio site where we talk shit about him anyway? I doubt it.
We're not making this up for content. We can post the logs for anybody who wants to see them. I mean, these are legitimate.
It is completely legit.
The russo-Ukraine territory.
And stay tuned, because at some point I will end up posting some of this. Because it is totally legit. I wish I was making it up. Because, because I watch what they're doing, and they were using, like, at one point they must have, like, brought in somebody who thought that he could, like, he had super skills or something. He's throwing code at one of our login pages that I have blocked altogether. So, like, you can't even hit it without getting... If you even try to hit this page... Did Jeff just join us?
No.
Okay, because I was getting a lot of feedback, so I thought maybe it was him. But if you even try to hit this page, you get immediately blocked, right? But they're throwing all this code, like they're going to hack into our login form and log into our website. I'm like, it is kind of amateur, but they brought in like the super duper skilled amateur to try that, and it was really kind of funny. I saw it and I laughed at it, and I was like, that's not gonna work, dude. Like, I don't even know what you're doing right there, but it ain't gonna work. Alright, so something else really interesting happened with one. I don't know if you want to talk about who it was or whatever, but this happened in Orty's world, and this is amazing. So tell the story, Orty.
Yeah, this was one of my clients. She this is, we've talked about the different levels where they try to attack you or they try to scam you. This was all three. Now, the original point of contact was she went by a website, and then her screen went into, the way she describes it to me, the way Hollywood would show somebody being hacked. She said lots of random numbers came up on the screen, and everything started to act screwy. And it's basically everything you see in Hollywood when somebody's getting... And then the little pop-up box shows up. Microsoft has noticed that your computer has been compromised. Call this 877 number immediately. So she's in a panic, calls the number, and then that's the first point where they got her, because they got her into a panic and got her to call. Then they convinced her she needed to install this software on her computer. And Glue really tore apart the software that they sent her, but they also gave her a crap version of WebRoot antivirus. So it looked like, they were proactively doing something. And then they sent her a bill for 1 year of socket protection for $500.
Socket protection. Dude, that's what killed me right there. Oh, you're going to protect my sockets. That's so awesome.
This whole thing was very, confidence man kind of thing.
Yeah,
where, they were very technical. They sounded very savvy, and you
socket protection.
Right, but an 80-year-old woman isn't going to know what that means.
I know, but I know it's so funny, and I feel like so sorry for her. But it's like, how did they even come up with that? Oh, we're gonna give you socket protection.
And that's even what the invoice they emailed her said. 1 year of socket protection.
God.
So then the year goes on, and this program that you looked into, Lou, what it does is it scans your computer. It scans like your saved passwords. And remember when we told them don't save your passwords in your browser?
Yep.
It scans the browser. It uses your own Windows login. You scan the browser to look for your passwords. And then a pop-up screen comes up and says, these passwords have been compromised and been found on the deep web. Please contact our technical support immediately. So she gets on the phone with them. They get her for another $500. Then it was the third time, and this was their mistake, was they probably could have kept her on the hook for a while, but they started to get greedy. And they did something else, and to fix that, they were going to charge her $1,300. Now, this is a little old lady on fixed income. And I felt bad saying it, but I'm all, you could have called me and I would have done it for about 10% of this. So when she finally calls me, I tell her, turn off your computer immediately. I'll be over to pick it up in about a half hour. I pick it up, bring it over. First thing I do is put malware bytes in it. Wouldn't let me install malware bytes on the desktop mode. I had to go into safe mode to get it. And from there, I discovered that they had turned off Windows Defender, disabled her antivirus, and made WebRoot the primary. And they actually, for a computer that I haven't touched in 2 years, it had a surprising low number of viruses on it. So they were at least doing that. But they were just, that's something that's an enterprise level price tag they're hitting her with. So by the time I finally got it out, and then I sent you the software that they put in, and you can go into it at length. By the time I finally got it out, all of a sudden, Windows Defender works again. Her antivirus works again. The 800 number that they had blazoned down in her taskbar disappeared. And so, this is everything that we warn you about. This was so many different points of intrusion into her computer to scam her.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the and a lot of you know, because we have, thank you JC, we have the Kim Commando for people who already know how to set up a printer. So a lot of you already know that there are basically like two types of programs that make your machine run, for just lack of a better term. One is an executable .exe, and the other one is a dynamic library .dll. Those are the two main. Like almost every malware you'll ever come across is one of those two files or both, right? Some of them
JavaScript, but that's.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother thing, and that is pain in the ass malware, right? That that you just triggered me, right? You triggered me by saying JavaScript malware, by the way. Anyway, so but yeah, especially on a Windows machine, you're mostly going to see two types of malware: executables and dynamic link libraries, and executables with multiple dynamic link libraries in them. That's what this was. So I didn't even install this, right? So I wasn't even interested in installing it on my virtual machine that is a malware lab and is set up just for this kind of thing. And you know how I had how much fun I had with the ransomware that kept locking up my machine. I didn't really even want to install this, right? So I didn't. I just took the executable that was an installation because I knew that the programs that I have, the debug programs and the malware lab programs that I have, dig inside and pull find the dynamic link library files and display them and show them to me, and it'll show me the code, and it did. I basically put it through 4 different programs. And I saved some of the screenshots so there's a couple of things that I could point out. But there were, so the first thing that I could see was exactly what you said it did. It takes over certain parts of the computer. Or certain parts of someone's like files and computers, right? And it rewrites, totally blocks the Defender.
Windows Defender.
Yeah, Windows Defender and certain Defender programs. So there's one part of Defender that will keep you from running a dangerous file. So if you try to install a program and it's a dangerous program, it'll say, oh, we can't figure out if this is an okay program or not, so we don't want you to run it. I had to actually force it to download that file. Like, I thought I was going to have to turn Defender off altogether, which I've had to do with malware before. But usually I can just say, allow it. Let me see it. Allow it. It didn't want me to do that at all. And so it was blocking certain Defender even before you installed it. Like, I never even installed it, and it was still blocking this stuff, and I was like, that's pretty sophisticated. So I pulled it into 4 different debug programs. I never did find. So what I was looking for was a URL or IP address where it was communicating back to, because I could tell that it was communicating information, because just like you said, they were getting stuff so that they knew to call her. Right? So they have a command and control server. They were receiving information about what her machine was doing so that they knew to call her. Right?
Right.
Right. So I was trying to find what that IP address was or what the URL was that was receiving that. I didn't. What I found was a reference to a library. So what it does is it'll update the library from time to time with the new IP address, or probably a new IP address. So they're moving.
Well, let me tell you what it actually did.
Yeah.
Is that one of the functions I noticed that it did, and it's probably why you can't find what it's doing, is that it created a hidden contact in people. So when it finally did what it was looking to do, extract her passwords so it could throw up the screen saying, hey, these passwords are compromised, then it pulled that contact out of people and would bring it up and call this number. So that's it. I actually found it in her, next to all of her family and everybody else. I asked her, did you put that number into your contacts? She said, no, I've never seen it except for when I call them. So
see, that's pretty brilliantly obfuscated, because it's masquerading, and there are so many things that I could see that were masquerading as, and I looked at it for like 15 minutes. Like, normally, people that really do this for a living, they can do it a lot faster than I can. But if I'm going to figure out what a malware is doing, it'll take me days. Because I'm not one of those people, I only looked at it for 15 minutes, and I could see it replaced. There are 2 very important .dll dynamic link library files that live on your computer and make your Windows machine run. It replaced 2. It replaced them with its own version of it, and then it added several more. And one thing that was really interesting about it, if I can find it, was the blacklisted imports that it has. So a malware will import certain APIs to talk to Windows services. It's kind of masquerades like, yeah, we're an okay program because we're using Windows services to do what we need to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 blacklisted Windows services. That's when you know it's malware. Like, all you have to do is look at that and you know that's malware. So this poor old lady, they charged her, how much was the total? Charged her a couple...
2 charges of $4.99, and they almost got her for another $1,300.
They tried to charge her $2,300 to put malware on her computer.
Yep. And that's why I said to you that we've talked about that in the past. They will charge you for the privilege of scamming you.
Yes, absolutely. And you're absolutely right. What a confidence game. So if you see that, anybody who wants to look at it, I tweeted it to Orty. I tweeted a screenshot of what it looked like in Ollie debug. And one of the window that's in the front are the dynamic link library files that it either accessed and changed or replaced or added to her system. And it's really...
You have the name of the program handy that they installed in your computer, correct? I don't have that in front of me.
The name of the program is, and this is the funny part, Advanced Identity Protection. Stay far, far away from this program.
Yeah, if you see that anywhere, the program is basically, aside from the taking over the computer parts, its sole purpose is to look on your computer for passwords. It'll take them out of your window or your Chrome library, Firefox, whatever. And what it'll do is it'll activate your Windows user control because your PIN number, your password is required to open those up. And so,
right.
Yeah. The only thing I could advise her to do at that point, after I took her computer and got it out of there, was call her financial institution, report the fraud, and take some extra cash out of your bank because your ATM is going to be useless for 7 days until they send you a new card.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it was very inconvenient for her. It was expensive for her. And it's really kind of sad. Like, we laughed about it. And the socket protection, I'm sorry, that's funny. I don't care who you are. But I do feel sorry for the lady because, most of the 30-year-old people that I know, most of the 20, 30, 40, 50, most people that I know, period, would have no idea what socket protection was. They wouldn't know that was a ridiculous thing to even say.
Right.
So, that might get a lot of people. So.
Yeah, and that's like I said, it's modern day odd man. You know, it's they go with confidence. Like when they were trying to get her $1,300, they were saying, when she said she couldn't afford it, they kept telling her, well, you'll be liable for whatever happens to your computer. They use scare words. It's like, well, of course I'm liable for what happens to my computer. It's my goddamn computer. But when you're hearing that from somebody else, that's like, intimidating, because that's a very legal sounding term. So,
right.
Yeah, the whole thing was from beginning to end was just intimidation of a little old lady.
Yes. And this is why I'm glad my father doesn't have a computer. So, he has an iPhone, and that's it, and he doesn't answer calls because I've lectured him so much about answering calls from people that he doesn't have in his contacts. He doesn't answer calls. Verizon called him. Somebody called him and pretended to be Verizon a couple of times. And the first time they actually got him, and I lectured him so hard and so long and so many times about that he hangs up on people when they call, and then he turns around and calls Verizon and says, did you just call me? Because I taught him to do that. And yes, Orty, we do need to take a break. And then we're going to come back and we're really going to make fun of the Democrats for what happened with the app in Iowa. So that's going to be fun. And, yeah, we'll be right back. Here's that theme song I forgot. That's the state of my, state of my, state of my head. That's the state of my, state of my, state of my head.
It's been a long, bumpy ride sitting back in the saddle. It's time to get down, dirty up our knees in the battle. Oh, come on. Round up the boys, gonna make the walls rattle. Oh, our flag is tattered let's go. All eyes are seeing red, double vision from the blood we've shed. The only way I'm leaving is dead. That's the state of my, state of my, state of my head. They don't know where we've been. We got that concrete street skin. The only way I'm leaving is dead. That's the state of my, state of my, state of my head.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Yeah, no, I don't think they could I just had that volume down so far. So that answers that question. And don't you love it, like right in the middle of the show when we're still like working on sound issues? So yeah.
But we got Jeff back.
And yeah. So but you're still with us, right, Orty?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're really quiet. So let's talk about Iowa. What'd you? Yeah, what? So there was an app for that.
Yeah, that's oh my. We were trying to do the Iowa caucus, you, Brad, and I last week when this whole thing was going down. We had to stretch out 90 minutes waiting for them to resume for their fiasco, and we are a week later, and they still haven't figured it out.
Yeah, and I was laughing so hard I could hardly get through that show, first of all, and I was counting up, like, reporting percentage for the Republicans versus the Democrats. Democrats were at 0% reporting for the entire show, and we were late at night. Like, what time did we start that show? Like 9 or 10 o'clock, but the Republicans were at 92%, at 94%, and like the entire time. The Democrats were still at 0%. The next day, the Democrats were at 0%. It was like the next night before they were even at 60% reporting. It was crazy.
Yeah, this is, I mean, we talked about it on the show. They took something that has worked for 100 years, and then they threw an app at it to people who, a lot of them, don't have great cell service in the area they're in, and made it entirely dependent upon this app.
That's true. Is it? Because it is Iowa.
Yeah.
You know, it's really rural.
I'm not saying anything about Iowa because I'm in a rural part of California where I don't have good, reliable cell service a lot of the time.
Right.
So there's no way we could do that. I mean, the county I'm in, it's really big and it's really remote in areas, and yeah, I go 4 miles out of town and I might get one bar.
Right, but it wasn't the cell service that was the problem.
No.
It really wasn't. It was the app that was the problem. Yeah.
This app was rolled out weeks before the caucus began. People from the precincts were reporting that they had next to no training on it. And a wide variety of devices, everything from 6 generations of Android to 5 generations of Apple were using it. And just,
Yeah, but that's not, honestly, it's not impossible to make that work. And I'm not going to say that it's not difficult to make that work because, I realize that a lot of the programmers that I've worked with in my career were, really good, very, very good professionals, companies that, at the top of their field. But these guys were not it. This company that was contracted to do this app, they're not qualified to run malware bytes on your computer.
Well, I mean, this app was rolled out, I think it began development 60 days before the caucus. And DHS offered, hey, we can look at it for you. They're like, no, that's all right. And then they ran it through this freeware version of a app tester with no instructions on how to use it. And it's a comedy of it. It's like we joked about, that they tried to reinvent the calculator, the most simple thing that's on your phone, and then they made it complicated and dumb and broken.
Yeah, dumb and broken. And the one of the people one of the users on the ground tweeted a screenshot of the error message that she got from this app. And when you pen test an application or a website, one of the most important and first things that you do is you make sure that your error message, because by default, especially with databases, they do this. So you make sure that none of those error messages are default messages that reveal the technology, what is called the schema, the structure of the database behind the app. They didn't even do that. The screenshot and
don't let the error dump itself into the database itself,
mm-hmm.
where it was filling the fields with the error code.
Yeah.
So it's like name error code 0999X4 row precinct 09.
Right. Exactly. So.
Populating the fields with the error codes.
Right. Exactly. So what happens, what could happen is that, and they say that it didn't get hacked, and if it truly did not get hacked, it is nothing less than a miracle that it didn't get hacked, because if a hacker, bad actor, some dumb kid got their hands on a phone, or on that application, or on a phone with that application, and put in a bunch of stupid stuff in the fields, right? So they go in. It was a really trashy looking app anyway. It was like, fill in name, precinct, who you vote for kind of thing. So you fill in 4 fields and you hit submit, and it's supposed to go into the database. I mean, any dumb kid could have hacked that app based on what was returned and fill the database with a bunch of trash at the same time. So if it wasn't hacked, if it wasn't compromised, if the data wasn't compromised, it's nothing less than a miracle. I mean, it was
the luckiest thing that happened to him.
Yeah, a comedy of errors, I think is what you called it.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. It's the most ridiculous. So, the very first primary event of the election season, the presidential election season, I have no idea how they're going to top that fiasco.
Nevada.
Right.
If they use it in Nevada, I talked about how remote Iowa is. I've driven through Iowa. I've lived next to Nevada. I can tell you how bad cell service is. If you are outside of the Carson-Reno corridor, the Vegas-Pahrump-Mesquite corridor, or the Elko corridor, your cell service is 100% shit.
And wait, but this is the other Democrat Party that contracted this app, right?
Correct.
So they're going to use this mobile app in areas where they basically have no cell service at all.
We'll just drive down the hill, and when we get a cell signal, we'll transmit there. Yeah, Jeff, did you read up on any of this week?
Jeff, you're very quiet. He might not be able to hear you, Ordy.
I keep losing in and out of sound, both mic and headset. It's the craziest, weirdest thing tonight.
No, it's not. It's the Russians.
That could be. Or it's the guy with 99 empty phones pulling phones down an empty street.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, let's talk about that one. That's fun. Let's end on artistic good note.
Right. Let's move on to that story because everybody's heard about Iowa, and we just elaborated on why it's so friggin' ridiculous. Now, but this is a good fun story that Jeff has.
Well, actually, I think it kind of ties in a little bit with it.
It sort of does, yeah.
Because apparently a man pulled 99 phones down empty streets. And he rented 99 phones, got 99 SIM cards, and was able to have Google Maps say the road he was walking down with a red wagon with 99 phones was causing a traffic jam, causing gridlock. And due to that, Google Maps was redirecting people to avoid this guy pulling 99 phones.
A little red wagon full of 99 phones.
But it got me thinking, here's this artist. Now, I think it's genius that he even came up with the idea. And I can imagine if you hit the right streets, you could actually paint pictures on Google Maps with it. But just the idea of manipulating it to that point with just 99 phones coming off of what we just learned with Iowa and how their apps didn't work just makes me think, and probably a lot of you, just how many inept app developers there are.
Well,
yeah. The thing that made me think about it too is that, okay, so this is art, and, that's great and everything. The way my mind goes is, how could you use this to disrupt, say, presidential caravan?
Yes.
Number of things. How could you use it to disrupt police response? How could you use it, So that's where I went to an immediate security failure. And how could this be used to harm, rather than just be just a little art? Because I'm a ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
You really are, Orty. You really are a ray of sunshine. But I mean, it's a really good point, because anything like that, but the beauty of it is it too, like, this guy is not an information security researcher. This guy he was an artist, right?
Yes.
It took an artist to do what security researchers should have probably done like years ago, right? And that's the beauty of this. Like, anyone can be in information security.
What is amazing is that it couldn't differentiate 99 phones and a little red wagon, literally sitting on top of each other. Google Maps read it as a traffic jam.
Right, yeah, well, I mean, they're just pulling the signals. They're not,
they're... will not see automated cars anytime
soon. Right, absolutely. Well, and since, what did you just call yourself, Orty?
A ray of sunshine.
A ray of sunshine. And I refer to myself as the harbinger of doom. So
and I'm just a dumbass.
No, you come up with the great, like, happy, cute stories like that. I love that story. So, but it turns out this has happened in the last few hours. The Equifax breach was China.
Oh, really?
And 4 members of the Chinese military have been charged by the U.S. government for breaking into the Equifax networks and stealing information of American citizens.
Wow.
This just happened in the last 4 hours.
Well, nothing will come from it. Well, that's going to be China. That's one of those things, like, once they pop their head out their home country, they're going to be...
Right, exactly. They're stuck, but I mean...
They're going to be men with guns. Yeah, they're trapped at home forever.
Right, they won't be showing up at Black Hat. Right, yeah, so... Yeah, no DEF CON for you. Yeah, so that's fun. But they've been indicted by the DOJ, just like the 7 or 13 or whatever Russians that supposedly broke into the DNC that will also never be extradited, but can't come to DEF CON.
Right. But you know what? It's kind of like, I don't know. DEF CON is kind of where you show your shit off. If you can't go there, that's kind of like a downer. I guess you could Skype in.
They'd probably let you too.
Just don't Discord from my computer, apparently.
I think we're all having trouble now. I don't think it's Discord, though. Well, I don't know. I mean, you're into Discord. Yeah, I had Discord trouble at the beginning, too. And here we are trying to get all of KR into
Yeah. Well, I mean, the really funny thing is that we've never had Discord trouble since we started using it for this show.
And I'm actually not showing any system outage or anything that would be causing it. I have an idea what caused my problem. That when I hooked the client's computer up to my monitor today, when I plugged it back in, I forgot to turn off the monitor speakers.
Yep.
So they took over as my primary sound device, and that's part of the problems I've been having tonight. Always check your shit, people. And again, this goes back to the Christmas episode. We do this all the time, and we still make dumb mistakes.
That's right. That was the other thing that we were going to do tonight, and I think we should before we go. So this will be coming full circle from where we started. We started talking about people trying to hack us. And we're building this new website. And I won't name any names, but we were testing the chat, which some of you are using tonight. Thank you very much for helping us test the chat. But I want you all to listen to me because, it actually won't apply to them. But, so, we had some of our administrators on the site. We're using the chat. And these not really too bright hackers were smart enough to go to our chat page and find one of our administrative passwords from one of our administrators testing the chat with their admin.
Not it.
With their admin username. I'm not going to name any names, but
well, if it wasn't Jeff, was it me? Because I didn't give any warning.
I'm just going to say I signed in as a guest, and my username when I was testing was like guest 465 or whatever. But that doesn't really matter because it didn't occur to me either. I was like, they breached us somewhere, and I told this to the guys, they breached us somewhere because they found that friggin' admin password, admin name, how did they find that admin name? And Jeff said, was it the chat? And I was like, damn it was the chat, they got it out of chat. So of course, I immediately blocked it, and changed the admin names. Right, so everybody got a new admin username. So take that, Russians. But we all do. It never occurred to me. It never occurred to any of us. I mean, at that point, they'd been trying to get in for like less than 24 hours anyway. So we didn't. Right, yeah. So we didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't think about it, but
yeah,
you have to think about
stuff like that. I was just trying to get it integrated into the website. That didn't even cross my mind.
We were just testing. We weren't even live, right?
Mm-hmm.
We weren't even testing the page we're testing now. We were testing the previous page.
What? Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. We were just trying to get it to work. We were like, yay, it works. And then they found the username, and they used it to try to get in. they didn't. They couldn't get in, but they still couldn't get in with it. But they did use
what we talked about in the past is a brute force attack. They took the username and just started throwing random passwords until they see if they could get a hit.
Yeah.
So.
Right, but because the way we have the security set up, you can only do that for a few times before your IP gets logged out anyway. So So.
And that applies to everybody. So when you log into our chat later, don't forget your password because you only get 3 attempts in your IP. I'm kidding. It's not an attempt.
Right. So yeah, and don't use your username as the display name. But that is a really good kind of pro tip for anything that you're doing, right? So your username and your display name should be a little bit different because somebody sees it and they can use it to brute force your account. And not everybody has random 40-character passwords. Some of us do, but not everybody does.
This goes back to when we told you use password generators.
Yes.
Because then you can too.
Right.
So, where can people find you, Lou?
You can find me at Cyber War Podcast. And here, and then tomorrow night, we're taking the night off. LL and Aggie are taking the night off. We're going to do a replay. But Wednesday night, the red wine is on like Donkey Kong.
And Jeff, where can people find you?
Stoner Brewing Co. on Twitter. Here every Monday if I have my audio fixed. And every other Friday on In the Crease.
And Orty?
Well, okay. This week,
Horty.
Horty.
You can find me here every Monday night with you two, and I love it. Orty Packard on Twitter. This week I am on Culture Shift with Brad on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. Next week, after being back here with you, I will be on Juxtaposition on our Politics Free Friday. And if you didn't catch it on Twitter today, there's an old show that's going to be getting a resurgence. Starting on the 26th, Fubar is coming back every 2 weeks.
Fubar! Woohoo!
Bring out the squirrels.
But I hear Fubar has a new producer.
Yes, Lou will be producing us. The first show not, because everybody's going to be up at CPAC, but Rick, me, and Foo. So Rick will be our relaunch producer, and then after that, our lovely and talented Lou will be our new producer on Fubar.
Lucky me.
Well, damn.
It's going to be fun. No, it's going to be fun. That was totally sincere. Don't even. All right, so.
But yeah, we expect to see the squirrels back. Get ready for some resurgence of Bigfoot erotica and all the different ways that we can make asses of ourselves.
And we're bringing back the swear jar, or no?
Maybe.
Maybe the swear jar. Yeah. Maybe the swear jar, because we have this.
This program contains coarse language and adult themes. Parental discretion is advised. Naughty words and boobs. These are like za zdrowie.
Thank you, Annie Vodka, for doing that for us. And thanks, everyone, for joining us, for being in chat, for doing the website chat. We're really excited about launching that. But fuck the Ruskies and the russo-ukrainians that keep trying to hack it. I'm going to catch every friggin' one of you, and you'll get indicted too, and never extradited. But you won't be able to go to DEF CON. So y'all have... or Black Hat or any other con. Alright, so we'll see y'all next week. We love y'all. Thanks for joining.
Peace, everyone.
Jeff, I just unpacked my own
State of my head. That's the state of my head. It's been a long the saddle. It's time to get down, dirty up our knees in the battle. Oh, come on, round up the boys, gonna make the walls rattle. Oh, our flag is tattered and our bones are shattered, but it doesn't matter 'cause we're moving forward. Round them up, let's go. Round them up, let's go. The blood we've shed. The only way I'm leaving is dead. That's the state of my, state of my, state of my head. They don't know where we've been. We got that concrete street skin. The only way I'm leaving is dead. That's the state of my, state of my, state of my head. That's the state of my, state of my, state of my head. We've been shot up, beat up by the falling of the arrow. But there's no doubt we'll get out from the bottom of the barrel. Oh, our flag is tattered and our bones are shattered, but it doesn't matter 'cause we're moving forward. Round them up, let's go. Round them up, let's go. All eyes are seeing red, double vision from the blood we've shed. The only way I'm leaving is dead. That's the state of my, state of my, state of my head. They don't know where we've been. We got that concrete street skin. The only way I'm leaving is dead. That's the state of my, state of my, state of my head. That's the state of my, state of my, state of my head. That's the state of my, state of my, state of my head. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm coming back for more. Do you feel me now? Do you feel me now? I'm breaking down your door. I'm not speaking under my breath, 'cause the harder